Thanks, Mikey, and good afternoon, Focal Point. I had the pleasure of seeing our opening keynote speaker for the first time last year when he gave the opening keynote at a business symposium in my home state of New Jersey. About 3 minutes into his presentation, it was quite clear that this gentleman needed to be at Focal Point Conference 2026. His keynote that day was full of energy and humor, and the message was one that I knew all of us at Focal Point would find thought-provoking and inspiring. It challenges conventional thinking by asking the question, what if your greatest strength is actually holding you back? Our opening keynote speaker is himself an executive coach and former CEO. He runs Altium Leadership with his wife of nearly 40 years. He is a father of 5, grandfather of 10. He loves carbs, mountains, and helping people become the leaders they were meant to be. And at 6'7", even I at 6'5" need to look up to him. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce this year's Focal Point Conference opening keynote speaker, Spencer Horn.
Let me start with a moment that changed how I see leadership forever. Many years ago, I was sitting across the table from my mentor, a man I admired, a man I wanted to impress. And he looked at me and he said, "Spencer, I believe in you. But right now, you are not the leader this company needs." Now, I don't know if you've ever had a moment where somebody sees your potential and then immediately says you're not living up to it. But in that moment, I felt two things at exactly the same time. I felt seen, and I felt exposed. Because deep down inside, I knew he was correct. You see, on paper, I was a strong leader. Driven, decisive, got results. I had all the strengths that people are supposed to have. But what I couldn't see was what those strengths were doing to my team. You see, my decisiveness showed up as control. My high standards showed up as pressure. My direct communication showed up as intimidation. And when you get results, people put up with your behavior. And that's the dangerous part. Because the very behavior you think helps make you successful might be the behavior that is holding you back. So when he said to me, "You're not the leader that we need right now," it wasn't because I lacked strengths. It was because of how I was using them. And then he said something I will never forget. He says, "Spencer, I'm going to give you 6 months to figure it out. 6 months to become a different kind of leader or prove that I couldn't." And that forced me to confront a question I had never asked myself before. What if, as Matt said, your greatest strengths were also your greatest liability? What defines you as a leader? Is it your strengths? Or how those strengths show up under pressure? Because here's what I've learned from people all over the world. It's not your weaknesses that hold you back. It's how those strengths show up. And when you don't adjust them or shift them, they create what I call drag. But as I said, how do your strengths show up under pressure? We all know people like this. They say things like, "I just tell it like it is." And everybody in the room thinks, and that's the problem. Or, "I'm really detail-oriented," which sounds great until you get the 14th email about font size. So why is this happening? It's happening because you've been told to lean into your strengths, to build on them, to lead with them, to promote them. And that's not wrong. It's just incomplete. Because every strength overused creates drag. Anybody here a Formula One fan, high-performance racing fans? Yes. They have these incredible machines, don't they? 1,000 to 1,100 horsepower, all built for one reason: speed. And yet, these F1 teams spend millions of dollars reducing drag. Because even the smallest amount of drag, 1/100% of a second, can mean the difference between first place and forgotten. Now, you don't have a performance problem, you have a drag problem. When I was thinking about how do I demonstrate this idea of drag, I have a couple of ideas. How many of you flew here for the conference? Let me see, show of hands. And great, how many of you have a roller bag? Did you bring that roller bag with you? I brought mine. So here's my roller bag. See if I can get this, it's full. Oh. And this roller bag is awesome. It has to be this big, otherwise my shoes won't fit. As it stands, it takes up about 1/4 of the space already. But this is a Costco bag. I've gone through many of them. I travel all over the world. They trash them. But I love this bag because I can put my backpack on it. I can put my golf clubs on here. And in the airport, it's fantastic. It rolls. You know what I'm talking about in the concourse, how well it rolls? And makes your life so easy, doesn't it? Then you come to the hotel. And you go up the elevator to your room, and what happens? The carpet! Well, the carpet needs to be there because it makes it quiet so people can't hear. But what happens is, I'm going with my wife, and I'm pushing her bag like this, right? Because here's the thing. You get on this carpet like this, and as soon as that thing hits the carpet, it stops. So I'm doing this while I'm pulling mine, and it's like at an angle, right? You know what I'm talking about? What is that taking for me to push my bag? A tremendous amount of energy, isn't it? Now, as I was thinking about this incredible concept of making a wave, what's that about? Creating an impact. Creating success for yourself and for your clients. And I was thinking, and I did some studying. I love sailing. You hear I love mountain biking, a lot of things. But one of the things that I ski, one of the things I've never mastered was surfing. Just not going forward here. There we go. No, I've never mastered surfing. And if I did, I'd look like that. I don't know if you noticed, there's AI with giving me 6 fingers. On the right hand. And if you wonder where this amazing sunburn came from, it was there on La Jolla. Actually, what was that? Torrey Pines Beach. That's where we were. And the rest of me is fine because I'm wearing a long sleeve and jorts. But here's what I learned about surfing. There is drag in surfing. If you don't position yourself on that board and you submarine your tip, you're going to slow yourself down, right? It takes a lot of energy to get out if you've ever tried to fight out. You want to reduce as much drag as possible. You want to put yourself on that board so that you are not dragging. In sailing, it's the exact same. You want to remove as much resistance as you possibly can. You want to make sure that that surfboard is smooth. You want to make sure that that skeg is not creating resistance. You don't have a performance problem. You have a drag problem. So in leadership, your assertiveness becomes intimidation. Your empathy becomes indecision. Your high standards become burnout for everyone else. Your attention to detail becomes control. And here's the hard part. You don't see it. Because when your strengths are getting results, people forgive the behavior that comes with it. So you keep doing more of what you're good at, thinking it's going to fix the problem. And it doesn't. You can't fix a leadership problem by doubling down on the behavior that created it. So what if you didn't have a weakness problem? What if the issue was you've never learned how to adjust your strengths to reduce your drag? That's what I call becoming stronger than your strengths. So I want to take a little break right now. And before we go any further, I've been doing some research on you Focal Point coaches. Learned a little bit about you from some smart people. First of all, Matt, who you met, who I got to meet last year, great guy. I've had the opportunity to talk with Mikey, with Margaret McClay, Steve Doyle, Steve Thompson, all these incredibly just smart people learning all about you. And I have learned that there are 3 types of coaches in the room. Are you interested in knowing what kinds of coaches there are in this room right now? Are you sure? Because I've done serious research. Okay, so here's the deal. So I've been speaking for 15 years, audiences all across the world, and I have been doing research on audiences. But in order for me to share this research that I found on you, you have to participate in my research, okay? So I need you, if you're willing and able, to please stand up. Okay? I need you to get into what's called a power stance. That's with your feet about shoulder width apart. Go ahead and suck in your butt. Go ahead and throw back your shoulders, stick out your chest. Yes, you 2 ladies. And I want you to put your hands about like this. And in just a moment, I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to clap your hands together 1 time and hold them together. Any questions about the process? On the count of 3, ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep them together. Now, I want you to look at your hands. If your left hand is over top of the right hand, I want you to raise your hands high in the air, please. Go ahead, look around the room. If your right hand is over your left hand, based on extremely, keep them up, validated, accurate research, unimpeachable research, these are the smart coaches. So you want to get to know them, right? If your right hand is over your left hand, go ahead and raise those up above your head. Okay? Keep them up there. I need you to look around the room. Again, based on this meticulous, deep dive, incredibly correct research, these are the sexy coaches. So if you are both single, go ahead and get to know each other. Now, for the third one, this took a lot more effort to be able to figure out. This all took a lot of effort to figure out. If your left hand is not over your right, but they're just like this, go ahead and look at that. Raise your hands up. Yeah, this is the one that took a lot of effort to figure out. Such hard research to figure this out. These are the people who think they are sexy. Listen, we're going to keep you moving. We're going to have some fun today. Hope that's okay. Because, I have a couple of people in the room that know me. I'm a pretty intense guy. I mean, I'm German, very close to Hungarian, and very flat eyebrows. I have to wear these glasses not to freak people out, not to intimidate them. Is there a place for strengths-based leadership? Absolutely. It helps us know what energizes us, where we can come from a place of confidence, but that confidence can also prevent us from growing. A couple of years ago, I was attending a global leadership conference in Las Vegas. The keynote speaker was talking about the benefits of strengths-based leadership. She said, and I quote, "All you have to do is focus on your strengths, and it will pull up all of your weaknesses." And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, well, hold on. That's kind of like saying, if I practice my golf game with my driver long enough, I will magically become better at my putter. You don't believe me? You see, you've heard a couple of my strengths. I'm assertive, I'm direct. But if I'm not listening, if I'm defensive, if I'm shutting down collaboration, is leaning into my strengths going to help the situation? It's going to make it worse, isn't it? The best golfers have a whole set of clubs. You may be great at the driver, but if your short game is a mess, you're not going to win any championships, are you? You can't power your way through putting. Leadership is the same. You need distance. you need accuracy. And sometimes you just need to focus on the clubs that you've been ignoring. And in order to do that, you have to learn to do something that very few people ever do. That is, learn to be authentic while adjusting your behavior. And when you get that right, everything changes. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about something that feels right, but again, is holding a lot of us back. You've heard this before. Just be yourself. Sounds good, feels right, incomplete. Because I see leaders all the time who say, this is just who I am. I'm just being real. I'm not going to change because that would be inauthentic. And what they're really saying is, I'm not willing to grow. But authenticity isn't about staying the same. I use these steel rods. They're about 1/4 of an inch to teach people how to bend them, but it takes a lot of energy to bend those. But most people think being authentic is like being like this. You don't change. But real authenticity is about being true to your values while adjusting your behavior to serve those values better. In that case, I think this picture is more of an example of what I call flexible authenticity. Wow, that's right. I could never do that. But it's more like this exercise band, right? You're able to stretch and adapt, go back to the way you were. When you become flexibly authentic, you become more. You're able to adapt. You're able to adjust to the situation and then go back to who you are. Now, when I talk about flexible authenticity, I'm not talking about your professional competencies. For example, if you're not great at numbers, I'm not suggesting you should go study and be a CPA by any means. There are lots of careers that I would not do well at. Also, couldn't get into the cockpit. I couldn't even get into the Uber Tesla yesterday, barely. I had to fold myself into that thing. Jeez. Or, more appropriate for today. But that's not what holds most people back. What holds us back is rigidity in our thinking and our communication style, the belief that to be authentic, we can only lead one type of way or be one type of leader. But think about what we've been talking about right now. If your goal is connection, which I know is pretty important at Focal Point, isn't it right, Steve? But your behavior is pushing people away, are you authentic or just consistent? Because those two things aren't the same. Now, what the research shows, the real research, and for those of you who need that, I'm happy to give it to you after. The best coaches, the best leaders don't have just one leadership style, they have many. Research shows they use 6 different leadership styles, and they're able to adapt as they need them. Now, I'm not going to make this a lecture, but I'm going to share with you how these show up. And I need 6 volunteers to come up on the stage with me, please. Who would those? Come on up. Fatima, yes. That a girl. Come on up. 6. Thank you. Just spread yourself out on the stage. Brilliant. Come up. Okay. So here we go. So the first leadership style, let me get these up on the screen here as well, so we can see them a couple different ways. The first leadership style sounds like this: do what I say, do it now. That's coercive. Great in an emergency. Terrible as a lifestyle. Would you agree? The second leadership style is come with me. Let me show you. That's authoritative. Yes. That is about vision, direction, movement. One of the most positively correlated leadership styles that there is. Sometimes follow along here. Sometimes leadership sounds like people are the most important, right, Scorpio?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a lot about what you are into with connection, with engagement, with trust. Very, very important. Sometimes it sounds like, what do you think, Fatima? Which is what we call democratic, right? And that helps us build consensus, buy-in. We need to be able to do that from time to time, don't we? Sometimes it sounds like, Steve, keep up. High standards, pressure, which can also lead to what? Burnout if you're not careful. You have to be smart about that. And lastly, it sounds like, what help do you need to be effective? Which is what I'm hearing, a lot of what you're working on to help each other, which sounds like coaching. Right? So now here's what I want you to notice. You don't hate any of these styles, do you? You just have favorites. And those that are not favorite are probably not very comfortable for you, are they? But is leadership really about being comfortable, or is it about being effective? So I am going to ask for just a couple of volunteers that I can interview. You don't have to, but I'd love to interview you. Just ask a few questions if you'd be willing. I'll do my best not to embarrass. Anybody? Sure. Okay. Pam, sure. That's a style. Okay, here we go. So you can hold that. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Are you a coach? What do you do?
I help people get from A to B without that squiggly map in the middle.
You help people get to A to B.
From A to B, yes.
What's your role? What do you do?
Well, I am a business and executive master coach.
You are a master coach.
Yes, sir.
Did you all know that? Was she one of the smart ones? Okay, there you go. Why did you get into this coaching?
Because I love to help people. I love to help people grow, and I pay it forward because so many people help me do the same.
Yeah. What drives you crazy with clients? What's the things that frustrate you about your clients?
They don't show up mentally.
What do you mean they don't show up mentally?
I show up ready to help them grow and help them get to their B.
Yeah.
And they don't show up.
And what does that do to you? How does that make you feel?
Pissed off.
Pissed off. Are you a little?
My high D kicks in.
Yeah, you're a little. You're kind of competitive, aren't you?
Very much so. As these people know.
Okay. So if I were to guess, you can do coercive if you need to, but your preference is going to be certainly over here, right here. It's the authoritative, and you're going to do great with affiliative. You're actually going to do great with coaching and pace setting. You can actually do them all because of your personality, because you also have high extroversion, don't you?
Yes.
So which one do you think is your weakest? I'm going to guess. I'm going to say democratic.
No, I would think more coercive.
Coercive, really?
Yeah.
You can't tell people what to, then your highest trait is not D then.
Well, if I read your description, demands immediate compliance.
Yeah.
I help guide them to the compliance, but then if they don't get there, then I do.
But you rather, you don't, it's not that you don't care, because if you were coercive, you wouldn't care if they did it or not.
That's true.
You care too much.
Yeah, that's true too.
Okay, so then that's fine. So that's one that you struggle with a little bit. Excellent. Okay, who's next? And by the way, here you go. Here is a gift card to Starbucks for you.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
And who's next? Different personality. Let's go with Fatima. Fatima, so you've been here for like a year, right?
Yeah, like a year, legit, like 14
Legit?
months. Yeah.
Why did you get started in this?
They were born for me.
These guys were born for you?
Yes.
You own them?
Yes. No, I don't. No, I owe them. I don't own them.
Look
owe
at that.
them.
She owes them.
Yes.
That's kind of affiliative, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is recognizing, that's democratic as well. She likes people. What do you like to do for fun?
The same thing I do for business. I love to talk, write, photography.
What do you like about photography?
The fact that I can pretend I'm an introvert and make art.
Pretend that you're
Yeah,
an
I like to
introvert?
pretend that I'm quiet. I like to be invisible sometimes. So being behind the camera is very relaxing to me, to be able to take pictures, still pictures.
Okay, so which is the learned behavior, the outgoing or the one that's a little more quiet?
Oh man, I gotta tell you, the learned behavior is the quiet one. Like I had to learn
All right.
to shut my trap and take it all in instead of
Okay.
be very coercive and authoritative,
So you're coercive.
extremely.
Okay.
But I
So-
can be all of these, but I'm mostly,
So then the hardest for you is the coaching, probably listening and stopping and
Yeah,
listening.
stop.
You had to
Yeah.
learn how to
I
do
had to
that,
learn to
right?
be quiet.
So
We learned
this
about
was
that,
the
yes.
drag point for you.
yes.
Coercive was the drag point for you, yes? Okay, Fatima, listen, that's great. We don't have time to do everybody up here. Would the rest of you like to know what your leadership style is?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, go ahead and give me those and take your seats. Thank you, everyone. Give them a hand. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so for this, you are going to have to absolutely stand up because what we're going to do is we are going to do a human scattergram. There's going to be room throughout this entire room, and you are going to use it. Okay, hold on. I got to get this. Out. You are going to use all the room in the room. There's room up on the stage if you want to come. There's lots of room here in the front. There's room in the back, on the sides. You're going to be moving about the room. This is a leadership exercise, so you have to make a decision. You have to move quickly. You have to choose between two choices. It's going to be a forced matrix. I want you to imagine, please, that there is a piece of tape in front of your feet. I'm going to give you two adjectives. You have a choice. You're going to step forward in front of that tape, or you're going to step back behind that tape. Do you understand? Okay, so for example, let's do the first one slowly. If you are more persuasive, step forward versus humble back. Make sense? Now I'm going to do that really fast, and so you might bump into somebody. If you bump into me, I might sweat on you. Deal with it. This is just how I get. I forgot my sweat rag. All right, here we go. Persuasive forward, humble back. Loud forward, soft-spoken back. Daring forward, prepared back. Impulsive forward, steady back. I see you, Fatima. Analytical forward, accurate back. Risk taker forward, sensitive back. Results oriented forwards, perfectionist back. Quick forward, deliberate back. Friendly forward, discreet back. Sorry if I need to translate for some of you folks, but. Friendly forward, careful back. Controlling forward, supportive back. And motivating forward, thoughtful back. Energetic forward, reserved back. Come up on the stage. Spontaneous forward, predictable back. Okay, now how many of you ended up in front of the tape? That a girl. Okay, now if you ended up in front of the line, come up to the front of the room, please. All the way up to the front of the room. Now, if you're behind the tape, go to the back of the room. It's not a punishment. Okay. Not a punishment whatsoever. It's just what is. How many of you were kind of in the middle? That's okay. Be in the middle. You can be in the middle. That's a thing. If you found, because sometimes you're going back and forth, and that's okay. That's normal. All right, let me talk about the differences just really quickly. So the people in the front of the room, no surprise, are typically more direct in communication. What is direct in communication? Turn on the light. Now, those of you in the back of the room are more indirect in communication. What does that sound like? Please turn on the light, or it's dark in here. So how many of you would agree that that's somewhat accurate? Okay, we'll figure it out. In the middle, you can go either way. Just depends on your mood. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do this now, left versus right. Isn't that going to be fun? And you have to face the front, okay? So yeah, so this is left and this is right. You got it? Left, right. Everybody be facing the front. Okay, here's how we go. Here we go. Challenging to the left, agreeable to the right. Decisive to the left, sociable to the right. Adventuresome to the left, deliberate to the right. Diplomatic to the left, considerate to the right. Competitive to the left, easygoing to the right. Stubborn to the left, and sweet to the right. Bold to the left, charming to the right. Charming to the right. Admirable to the left, kind to the right. Forceful to the left, patient to the right. Skeptical to the left, receptive to the right. Trustworthy to the left, generous to the right. Concrete to the left, compassionate to the right. Couple more, here we go. Motivating, no, I got them all. There we go. Okay, how many of you ended up on the left side of your line? Okay, I need you to come all the way over here, whether you're in the front, in the back, okay? Are you in the middle? Now, if you were on the right, come over here on this side. You were on the right, front or back, doesn't matter. Separate yourself. You're in the middle, Pam? Yeah, that makes sense. Would you say a little more to the left or a little more to the right? Okay. All right. I need you to take a look at the room here now. Because what we're going to talk about, first of all, we're going to talk about these folks over here. Who thinks they're the best leaders? Just ask them. They will tell you, I'm the leader. Reminds me of Robin Hood. Typically, they're more task-oriented, competitive, driven, yes, direct, turn the light on and do it now. Probably not bad at the coercive style, right? Probably pretty good with the authoritative. Probably pretty good with the pace setting. Probably suck at the coaching, sorry. And the democratic, because you really don't give a rip. And the affiliative, because that's too squishy. I mean, come on. Thank you. I mean, if you're honest, now you can develop that. It's okay. There's hope. Okay. Now we go over here. The folks in the middle, they can go either way. The folks over here, these are who you want to party with tonight. This is the fun group, aren't you? See him this morning working out, but he's having fun working out. Yeah. This is the group. They love connection. They love motivation. They love to encourage. They like to empower. So you're going to be good at the authoritative. Listen, come with me, follow me. You're going to coach. You're going to be Democrat. You have all of them except for the coercive. You know why? You might have developed coercive, but mostly not. Here's why. Because you want people to like you. They don't care if people like them. If you're honest. Okay. So in the back, these are the nicest coaches. Now hold on. And can I tell you what? Probably some of the best blank coaches you'll ever meet. Why? Because they do give a rip. And they put everybody first besides themselves. And I'll tell you, the biggest group that frustrates them is this group over here, because these guys are bullies, aren't they? But they care. They put others before themselves. They are great at the affiliative. They're great at the democratic. They're great at the coaching. You struggle with the coercive if you're honest, right? Unless you have to. Pace setting, totally, you're totally about getting stuff done as long as it's kind of methodical, right? You like to be methodical. These guys like to be haphazard, multitask. Is that right? You might struggle with a couple of those. Okay, we're not done. We got a lot to talk about. This group back here, these are the smart ones. They're like, what's that research you've been talking about, Horn? Well, if you want to know, it's now Korn Ferry, but it used to be Hay McBear Consulting Group that did the research, 3,871 executives from all over the world, and they identified these 6 leadership styles. You can look that up, and there you go. So always, I know you like it, I know you need it. These folks can be authoritative, okay? Because here's how you do it. This is the way, not about their way. This is about their way. They want people to do things their way. You guys want people to do it the right way. You're about process, you're about systems, you're about rules. So you can be pace setting. You can coach, right, if there's that process. You probably struggle with the Democratic, because again, you don't care about their opinion. You just care about what's right. Am I wrong? Your coercive is different than their coercive. Again, it's not about your way, it's about do it the right way or else. I'll do it myself if you don't. That's the or else, right? Am I wrong? Okay, so here's what I want you to focus on. Let's just make sure you're in the right quadrant. We're going to do one more little assessment here. Okay, so usually the people in the front of the room are more direct communication, usually in the back more indirect. I know this doesn't exactly fit with your TTI. And by the way, this is completely unscientific. This is a forced matrix. So if we get 50 to 70% accurate with your height trait, that's a great place to start. You want a scientific tool? Talk to Steve Doyle. He'll get you hooked up with the TTI. Or I have a scientific tool as well. But typically on this side, you're more task-oriented. People over here are typically naturally more people-oriented. Is that correct? People first. You can do the task. They can do people, but it's like my son got in a car accident. And I'm like, I hope the car's okay. I have to fix that. I mean, honey, is that wrong? But here's the reality. 10 years after my daughter who got in a car accident, that's how I responded. She called my wife when my son got in a car accident. She said, is Josh okay? What did Dad do? And she's like, he was fine. He was great. He worried about his son first. You can change high dominance. It's okay. So, all right, couple more things I want you to look at. Okay, we call this extroversion. We call that pace/patience. We call that conformity. Couple other things. Here's a couple of ways that you can look at this. I want you to look at all these adjectives. So get in a place where you can see the screen. And I want you to put a mental check mark by every adjective that you think describes you. Okay? Every quadrant, doesn't matter. Now, how many of you have a check mark in your mind in every quadrant? What does that tell you? You are not just your height trait, of which I've oversimplified. That's on purpose. You have so much more to your behavior than just your height trait. And you have something in common with every other person in the room, which is a great start. How many of you had at least 3 quadrants where you had? Okay, excellent. We could spend a little bit of time on this. It would be a lot of fun. But how many of you have one quadrant that has the most check marks in it? Should be the quadrant that you're in. And if not, you can go ahead and move. So here's what I want to talk about. When it comes to making a wave, yeah, it's okay to move. It's okay to adjust. I had an opportunity to speak in Indonesia. We're going back. This is our 4th time in 5 years. But one year I was speaking with Dr. Joshua Netto at a conference in Indonesia. And he said, early in my career as a project manager, I would get the job done on time, on budget, no matter what. He said there was, quote unquote, blood on the walls. He excelled at the coercive. What he struggled with was the affiliative. And he couldn't sustain his ability to create a wave, to create momentum, because nobody wanted to work with him until he learned how to reduce the drag that was slowing him down and find another leadership style. Over here, you guys, you have some of the greatest strengths, but the challenge that you have is when it comes to growing your business and selling, you want to connect with people so bad that when it comes to asking for them to sign on the contract, you just like keep talking until they just like, all right, I'll think about it. But you've went past the time because you want them to like you. Stop talking. I want you to memorize this acronym, W period, A period, I period, T period. Why am I talking? Y'all, why aren't I talking? But I want you to be able to ask questions and learn from what your people need and then say, what will that get you when you're able to go from where you say you want to be from where you are now? Let's get started at Focal Point Coaching. We'll work together to get to that goal. Get them committed, even when it's uncomfortable. Back here, I was speaking at a conference in Grand Rapids, and afterwards, a brilliant young woman came up. She was originally from Serbia, manager of 5 direct reports. There was an opportunity for her to get promoted to a vice president role in the healthcare industry. And she came up to me and said, I had all the credentials, I had all the abilities to be that vice president, and yet the person that they chose was not as qualified as me. Why did that happen? And because I understand personalities, I said, did you attempt to get that position by putting your head down and working really hard and hoping they noticed you? She said, yeah. So I said, it's really uncomfortable promoting yourself and selling yourself, isn't it? She said, yeah, I hate that. I said, that's why the person who got the job, because they were willing to get out of their comfort zone and say something about themselves. If you don't do it, who's going to do it? Because part of the challenge of being back here, part of the drag point here is control. Part of the drag point here is wanting to be liked, but back here it's conflict avoidance. I don't want to ruffle people's feathers. I don't want to interrupt their day. I don't want to have to cold call people because, you know what? They might be busy with their family. Is that far off? A little bit accurate, if you're honest. And over here, how often are you getting ready to get ready? Because you just haven't perfected the dang script yet. Because you haven't finished the whole book yet. Because you haven't attended every training yet. Sign the client, then figure out how to help them. Now, I want to say one thing before we go back to our seats. Can I come down here with you all? We live in a world right now, friends, that is extremely divided. That is violent, that is angry. We are divided by age, by gender, by faith, by beliefs, by politics, by nations. And now I've just divided you by personality. Crap, what's that about? There is too much division. We talk about diversity too much. We embrace diversity. This is cognitive diversity. We need it. We need each other. You need those guys, those bullies every once in a while to knock down a few doors, don't you? You need those guys to be nice every once in a while to repair those bridges that you've destroyed. You need them over there to figure out the details. And you need them to have a little bit of fun and lighten up so people can like you. Here's what I want to do. Can we all come to the middle of the room, please? Part of what we need today, friends, we need more unity. We need you to be able to connect with people over there. Be nice to them. We need you to get to the point when you talk to them. You can do it. We need you to tighten up your presentation a little bit and a little few emojis when you're talking to these folks over here. But can we create more unity with the work that you do with your clients? You are making the world a better place. Thank you. Give yourselves a hand, yes. Oh, you guys all right? So, we got to go fast. Now that you've seen it, you know how you naturally show up. Yes, sir. My sweat rag, thank you so much. Oh, I can use that. Thank you so much. This is just who I am. Yeah, that's my natural self. I sweat. Friends, you see now how you show up, which means you have a choice. Because awareness without action means nothing changes. Your job is to do this for your clients. And after I finish my talk here, we're going to do some work so that you can apply what I've been talking to you about in your business to reduce your drag. I'm going to share with you a 3-step, super simple methodology to do that. First of all, you have to see it. You have to see what your strengths are. Most of the time we see our strengths. You're aware of what your strengths are, but what we don't often see is the drag. That's what's holding us back, what's blocking us, what's preventing the relationship to move forward, what's preventing us from closing that deal, what's preventing us from growing our business. We don't always see how we're getting in our own way from preventing us from creating that wave. So see it, that is, identify your natural strengths, but more importantly, identify your drag. And we're going to have an opportunity to do that. I'm going to give you a little assessment that I've made with a friend of mine based on your personality type. And it's quite extensive. I've cut it in half, but then we're going to do one just for your business, not just your personality, but also in your business. So number 1, see it. Number 2, choose it. Just choose one. How many of you think you have more than one drag point? Yeah, here's the good news, people. If you're like me, it's going to take eternity to work on them all. That's okay. Don't work on 5. Don't work on 3. Work on 1. Why? It takes energy. Okay? It's why people talk about focusing on your strengths. Because it energizes us. But listen, there's huge benefits by working on the drag points, but you have to be smart about it. All right? So I want you to work on just one. So I want you to choose it. So for example, if you're back in the back corner there and you struggle to speak up, well, maybe what you want to do is you're avoiding conflict. You want to find the opposite of that, which is what? Maybe it's courageous candor, right? If you're talking too much past the sale, what is it? Maybe it's listening patiently before speaking. If it's, pushing too fast, too hard over here, maybe it's more patient questioning. Is this making sense? So you're going to find what the opposite of that is, but whatever your trait is, for example, if it's perfection, maybe it's strategic delegation. I don't know. We're going to figure out what that is. That's the opposite of that. And then the third thing is that you're going to actually measure it, because if you identify it and you see it and you do nothing, nothing changes. So you are going to measure, this is a coaching principle, yes, your success. And I have a sheet for you, or you can create your own. I call it, Did I Do My Best? So what you're going to do is you're going to identify your drag point, and then you're going to find the opposite, because you want to focus on the behavior that you want, not the behavior that you don't want. Why? Coaches, why do we not focus on what we don't want? Your brain cannot understand, has to work around. So if I say to you, don't spill the milk, where's your focus? I don't want to date jerky dudes. And what do? Those jerky dudes. Don't do that. I want to date amazing focal point coaches. Focus where you want your brain to go. So in this case, listen patiently before speaking. So the question that you're going to ask yourself every day, and if you really struggle, every hour, but in the beginning, start off with every day. Did I do my best today? This is the one drag point that you're working on, to listen patiently before speaking. And you are going to score yourself completely honestly, folks, if you did a terrible job, give yourself a low score. And there's 2 rules for this. Focus on the behavior that you want, and when you have a tough day, avoid self-judgment. Replace it with curiosity. Why did I struggle listening patiently today? What was going on? What was my energy like? Did I get enough rest? What was happening around me? This does 2 things. Focuses your brain on the behavior that you want and creates awareness around where you are dragging yourself down. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I want you to get at a table. Mike, why are you sitting by yourself, brother? Everybody likes Mike. Thank you. I want you to find, okay, because we haven't found your opposite yet, but I want you to find an accountability partner now, okay? Find someone that's an accountability partner. Go ahead and do that now. It's okay to find somebody at your table. I want you to get out your phones. I want you to get out your phones, and I want you to put an appointment. Listen to me. I know you guys like to talk. I want you to put an appointment on May 28th at 10 a.m. You figure out the time zone. Hungary, I don't know. It's 10 hours difference from here, isn't it? 9 hours difference. I want you to put the time zone, whatever your partner is on, May 28th at 10 a.m. You're going to call each other and check in on what we're going to do in a little bit. Has everybody got a partner? Get it on your calendar. Get your phone numbers. I'm going to give you 1 minute. All right, Tessa, did you get it? Did you get somebody, Tessa? All right, you got an accountability partner? All right, let's bring it back. Bring it back. I have a question for you. How many of you all like climbing mountains? Really? Why do you like climbing mountains? Tell me, why do you like climbing mountains? Huh? It's a challenge. Why else? You get to the top, and there's a payoff. What's the payoff? The view. This is, by the way, this is right next to Moab Arches in Canyonland. This is beautiful mountain range called the LaSalle Mountains, and there's trees and it's just aspen everywhere. I know it doesn't look like up here, and then you got this desert down below. I love climbing mountains, and here's a couple in my backyard. This is just right around the corner from where I live, and this is the tallest mountain in the Wasatch Range, right by Salt Lake City where I live. But let's be real. Getting to the top sucks, doesn't it? It's hard work, especially when you're 300 pounds. You got to drag this massive muscle up to the top of the mountain. It's hard. I had my son document how he's 26 years old. He's such an antelope. Runs up. He's so patient though. He's such a great son, and takes me hours to get up. I have to go so slow. You see me leaning on this, it's because my back, I'm old. It's okay. There's science behind doing hard things. We've talked about the benefits of focusing on your strengths, right? It energizes us. It helps us lead from a place of confidence. But guess what doing difficult things does? Even more. How many of you think our lives are relatively easy? Why? How many of you have a microwave? How many of you have a vacuum cleaner? A Roomba? Automatic car wash subscription? How many of you have the ability to go eat out whenever you want? Order foreign food. I'll tell you something, some goulash, some paprikash, some tikka masala, whenever you want. How many of you understand that our grandparents didn't have it that easy? They had to make their own cheese. They had to take their freaking carpets outside and beat them. They had to work harder, and yet they were happier, do you think, than maybe we are today? An anxiety-riddled population. Why? Well, it turns out, according to Stanford psychiatrist Anna Lemke, that when life is too easy, when there's too much pleasure, how much entertainment do we even have at our fingertips? I know some of you are watching right now on your little phones back there. You're watching your favorite Netflix show. I see you. When we have it too easy, the brain stops releasing serotonin, which does what? Helps you to sleep, relax, have great sex, digest, cause your skin wounds to heal. It stops releasing oxytocin. You want the connection hormone? That's oxytocin. Where's my hugger? Where are you? There you are. You release oxytocin when you hug, don't you? You connect with people. It's that feel-good love hormone, isn't it? Guess what else your brain stops releasing? Dopamine. Which does what? Motivates the snot out of you. That stops when we have it too easy. But when you climb a mountain, when you figure out your business because you're struggling to make difficult choices and to make phone calls and to connect and network and build the business, talk to strangers on elevators, go to the gym in the morning, guess what your brain does? It rewards you with oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. When you do difficult things rather than just leaning into your strengths, we are built to struggle. And if you're struggling right now in your business, say hallelujah. Because you have an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to get strong. We are built because if it's too easy, our muscles atrophy. Our abilities diminish. Well, let me wrap up. Let me say a word to you perfectionists. I know there's a few of you in here. If I've been freaking you out about talking about your working on your drag points, I apologize. Remember, I only want you to work on one. And even if you get 5% better and it's kind of sloppy, that's okay. Don't worry about that. Now, the reason I put this up for a couple things, I want to practice what I preach. I like to make a wave myself, and I like to get third-party feedback, and that's what this is. This is an outside source for you to give me feedback. Plus, you can download my survey on drag points, the spreadsheet, and articles, all kinds of things I've written about what we're talking about today. And you can choose whether or not I connect with you. You can connect with me. You can schedule a call. Listen, if you want to get a coaching session with me, I know only 3 of you will figure it out. Got a room this big, only 3 of you will do it. That's why I can do it. Make an appointment with me, and I'll help you identify your drag points. But you got to do a behavioral assessment, not just the fun scattergram. You can use your TTI, or you can use mine. Let me share something personal with you. This is not about leadership on a stage. This is about leadership at home. As Matt said, my wife and I, who's here, will have been married 40 years in June. And we are welcoming our 11th grandbaby in July. Thank you. And if you looked at us on paper, you would say this is never going to work. Because we are opposite in every way. I'm direct, she's gentle. I'm in a hurry, she's thoughtful. I talk to think, she thinks before she talks. I'm a morning person, she thinks mornings are optional. But here's the thing, for the longest time I thought my way was the right way. Because after all, I was just being authentic. If I talk too much, well, that's who I am. If I push too hard, well, that's how I'm wired. If I filled the space of silence, well, somebody has to. And I didn't realize that my strengths were creating distance. And one day, we were driving together in downtown Los Angeles on a Sunday on our way to church. We were looking for a church, and we were driving through this community that the signs were all in Spanish. And so I was doing what I do sometimes, reading them out loud. Panaderia, carniceria, pupuseria. What's a pupuseria? I said. And if I pronounced it kind of Italian, that's because I speak Italian, not Spanish. And she says, I saw the same sign and wondered the same thing, but I read it to myself like I usually do. And then she said something that stopped me. She says, you're less extroverted than you used to be. I think I did that to you, and I'm sorry. And here's the person I love the most in the world, thinking that she had taken something from me when nothing could be further from the truth. Because what she did was expand me. She didn't make me less of who I was, less of an extrovert. She made me more having the ability to shut up if the moment required, instead of doing what just comes natural. And she did the same. She learned to be more assertive, more outgoing, more aggressive, more vulnerable and open. We didn't become different people. We became more for each other. Who in your life is adjusting to you while you stay the same? Thinking being authentic when you're really just creating more distance. I want you to think for a moment. And I want to leave you with this. There are people in your life right now, on your team, in your family, in your organization, who are adapting to you. Not because they don't care, but because they do. And authenticity is what it's not. It's not just this is who I am. It's this is what's important right now, so I am adapting and growing and changing because I need to. The question is not are you authentic, it is are you effective? So here's your decision. Will you protect who you've always been, or will you expand who you can become? Will you continue to lead from your strengths, or will you choose to be stronger than your strengths? Thank you.